to welcome to the um, April 28th, 2026 session of Tapper and HamSCI technical
Testing.
session. You're working, Paul.
Okay, great. Thanks.
And now I forgot where I was. So um, tonight we're continuing our discussions, and my name is Dave, KV0S. This week I have been fiddling with um, my radios. I had a outage in Whisper Demon, which is, I think, probably my fault. And I fiddled with it with a little help from Michael and was able to get it working again. So um, I just thought I'd mention that. That was my task today. We had 4 thunderstorms come through our town today with lightning, and one of them had hail. So it was you'd have a thunderstorm and then a little bit of sun, and then you have another thunderstorm and another, and it was just a whole stream of them. So anyway, that's it for me. Next on the list, we have Nathaniel, W2 NAF. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dave. Continuing to work on keeping everything going. The big thing I did for the project this weekend is I wrote a manuscript for QST, which I'm very excited about. I also ordered another 10 RX888s today, and I'm in the process of ordering 30 TS1 time injectors from Paul. So we're going to include those in our distribution. I met with Emma this morning. We are, working on getting these things out the door. So we're really making that push for that. So back to
Very
net.
good. Okay. Next on the list, we have Paul. Are you ready? Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, I just yesterday, in anticipation and hope of Nathaniel's order and future use. Anyway, I launched a build of 50 of the Times TS1s, and so we'll see. Should be in a couple weeks. Hopefully, we'll have some up and running and ready to send to Nathaniel, and it'll mean I'll have more than one I can use here for testing and all that. So anyway, I'm very optimistic about that. Um, the radio, the Tapper X888. Um, I've received no further, let's say significant comments or suggestions on the design. I think I've taken it as far as I can, so I'm ready to work with Tapper to get some prototypes made of that design. Well, and Dave, I do apologize again for missing Saturday's meeting. I was
Okay.
hoping to bring this up then, but we
Well,
obviously need to figure out how to move ahead on this.
well, in the next month, we'll have plenty of time to talk.
Okay, good. Anything else? Yeah, Scott and I did some testing with me sending my pseudo-random data sequence for on my time-stamped stuff, and he was able to receive it and decode the pseudo-random data. Um, and he hasn't yet done the time alignment or anything, but that is encouraging progress nonetheless. So I'm looking forward to carrying that testing on. Um, Yeah, did the QST. Yeah, I submitted 500 words to QST also, um, based on basically the time synchronization stuff we've been doing. Um, so I believe that'll be a little insert in the larger piece that Nathaniel's been working on. And so back to net.
Okay. And I don't know if you or Scott or anyone heard that while I was talking earlier, we did pass the Tepper buying a Zoom license. So we'll have something that we can use here if we need to.
Excellent.
And actually for other meetings for Tapper. So
Will that be an always on uh
I don't
session?
know. We have to learn what are our
Yeah,
capabilities and all.
It,
I
it's
Okay.
think that
very
would be the idea.
it's very easy to do that.
Yes.
I
Right.
can.
And always on and a Cleveland host is the idea.
It sounds like Dave is our knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
So we may have to lean on
Yeah.
him a
I've
little
been
bit.
on I host a number of Zoom meetings that we
Okay.
have those features.
So we have what four board members here. So um, we kind of have a monopoly. Anyway,
Yeah.
Nick,
Except Paul's not named Dave.
yeah, he needs to change his name to Dave. Anyway, next on the list is Dave Witten. You're having lunch or dinner, but sorry.
Well,
Go ahead.
whatever it is when you're kind of on your own. My wife has just was zooming me from or signaling me from Eastern Europe, and it's 4 a.m. there, and she's got jet lag and can't sleep. But um, so I may have to duck out, but I don't have much to contribute. Um, Mostly been working on firewalls, re-architecting my local network,
Yeah.
um, and so forth. VPNs, that sort of thing. Do want to ask Nathaniel, I've completely lost track of those magnetometer meetings anymore, if they're happening or if they're not, um, or
Yes, it's good
so
to see
no.
you back. So, they are happening, but I'm not going to be at the one tomorrow. Um, I'm not sure if Jackson will either. But I can tell you a couple of things. I met with Jackson today, and I met with my wife and Christine Zagziski and Majid at a magnetometer meeting at the university. Um, we are now in the phase where uh, Jackson is going to try to set up. He's now going to set up another um, pi eliminator magnetometer to work with my wife's and Christine Zagziski's Gannon Storm simulator. So they're going to move that from,
Cool.
so they're going to move it from Jackson just playing with it on his own. He's going to give it to my wife and Christine and Majid. So they're going to be able to play with it in the lab and kind of test it out. Hyomin also met with Jackson last week, and Hyomin went through, gave Jackson some feedback on the interface as well. I think the next couple of things that are going to happen after we get it working with in the lab is I want to have that once we're happy with it there, I want to get it deployed on the system at Jenny Jump and over at my house and over at Christine's house. So they've got the same thing going. And I think we may be again trying to do a push to actually mail out, get people to install magnetometers throughout the country this summer. So it's very possible that Emma Moran may be contacting you for information or support with regards to the software.
Okay. Well, um, George Tapper wanted me very badly to rewrite the instructions for the old software, which I rather don't like doing, but I said I would. It's so I don't like dealing with it at all right now, and it's not a good time, but I will do that. But I don't want to encourage anyone to use that.
Yeah.
I'm also going to send some more of the eliminator boards off, a few more off so they can be in the Tapper store. To have a few more boards made because I sent you pretty much all I had. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, okay, that's all I wanted to know. I've gotten on there and nobody's ever been there, or
Yeah.
And so I
No,
don't know.
we've been meeting on there. Like we've definitely had it for the last couple of weeks. So
Something's wrong. I've
you
gotten
might be, maybe you're on the wrong, maybe you have the wrong link then.
that's not at all, wouldn't be surprising. I have ones from Yeoman, I have ones from you, and I don't find, I haven't, I don't know. But if there's anything I need to be there for, please send me a link that's likely to work because,
Okay.
uh-huh,
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll email you and Yeoman and Jackson tonight, and then maybe you guys can meet on the link tomorrow.
okay,
So,
okay, I'll try. I'll do
okay,
my best.
great. Thanks.
Okay. Next on the list is Dave H. W60Q. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Didn't do anything this week related to radio. Okay, that's the report.
Well, very good. Uh, okay, next on the list is David McGaw, N1HAC. Go ahead.
Good evening. And yeah, we got some things done with regards to the Tapper side of things on Saturday. And then yeah, I'm working on NASA pieces. I mean a QST piece for our NASA project that they requested. Hopefully throw that together um, tomorrow, mostly. Because we do have to pass it by NASA apparently. Um, and then yeah, just doing my general stuff, playing at 450 megahertz, not so much at HF, but working on our ground station and um, 450 megahertz power amps and things like that. And looking forward to Hamvention. I'll be getting out there on Thursday for our Tapper meeting and then there for Friday. And I'm going to be wearing a lot of hats that this time it turns out. So anyway, back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Tom, N5EG. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, Dave, evening, everyone in the group. Been working on the quad receiver, a lot of progress on the circuit board layout. Finishing up the RF analog, power supply, planes, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to give it to the auto router for the point-to-point CMOS. And it's going to be a tough auto route. The FPGA bumps are real tiny and real close together. So that sounds like a good task for a computer. Back to the group.
I have a question for you. Have you
Yes.
had your head above water? I've seen a lot of rain reported for your area.
Oh gosh, no, we're dry.
Oh,
We've
okay.
we've had no snowpack, no rain. It's just
Just
absolutely
dry.
parched dry.
Oh, well.
Oh, by the way, Dave, I had been wondering about your weather today. I was watching the Weather Channel yesterday, and they pointed out that you were going to get inundated by like multiple thunderstorms.
Yeah, I had 4 thunderstorms today,
Yeah,
all about an hour apart, and one of them had hail, kind of nickel size hail. So,
yep. Reminds
uh,
me of a Reddit sub called "FU" in particular.
so next on the list is Jonathan, KC3EEY. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I was very busy the past week, not on VLF related matters, but so what I've been doing, I've been working more on getting the measurements right for my end plates of the VLF interface. Um, just as a reminder, that's the last like design task that I have to do. And the system is technically ready to be reproduced. So that's very exciting. And I have also been communicating with Majid and Emma regarding the integration of the VLF system with what they're doing, particularly uh, asset tags and using that absolutely beautiful and cool Whistler Catcher logo. But I made up a asset tracking sheet in Excel and some label sheets in Word, and I was discussing with Emma on those. And I also was doing some non-VLF related matters, looking for a solution to drive the DXC preamp in terms of power, and making a decision whether we want to run a second coax or some other type of cable. Uh, like a two conductor type low voltage cable, um, and what we would use to connect that into the F connector of the DXC preamp, and how we would accomplish that. So part of the general discussion, Nathaniel and I, we could talk about that. My main thing here is um, I think everything will will work. I think it just comes down to cost and what costs the least, and that's probably what we should go with here. Um, I'm also working on two articles for QST. One is the Whistler Catcher system, and the other is about my good friend Paul. So hopefully I will get those finished this week, and sent off to the editor for editing. That's all I have right now. Back to the net.
Okay.
So
Next on
I just
the
to point
list.
out, it sounds very promising that
Oh, yes.
it sounds very promising that we're going to have a whole like special section in QST again this year.
Very good.
I mean that's really cool.
It it gets noticed
Yeah,
by
two
the
years,
community.
2 years in a row.
Yes. Well, next on the list is Phil, K9Q. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey guys, let's see, not too much to report. I was starting some work on trying to make K and IQ radio, particularly Radio D, a little easier to configure and have it start up automatically, but run into some limitations, so this is going to take a while. I did push some changes over the last few days as part of that, and if anybody has any problems with their system not reliably starting, let me know. I don't always overwrite configuration files because I don't like to screw things up. But if that creates any problems, please let me know.
Well,
That's about it for here now.
I've been watching the uh, oh, the commits, and it looks very interesting. The things you're working on.
Yeah, it's a mixture of little minor bug fixes and lint fixes that people send me, and then an attempt to try to simplify the configuration and installation. It can, the fewer things you have to configure automatically, the better, but it doesn't always work the way you think it's going to work.
Yes. Uh, okay, next on the list we have Scott Newell in 5 TNL. Go ahead, Scott, and I hope you heard the news at the top.
Yes, sure did. And Paul's pretty much got me covered. I've been working on his decoding stuff and plotting and fast convolution and getting confused by FFT output order and everything else. So back to net.
Well, keep doing it. We really appreciate it. So, next on the list is Rob Robinette. Go ahead, Rob. Are you there?
Yes, I'm done. I'm here, but I'm in the midst of cooking dinner, so I don't
Oh,
think I
okay.
should.
I
Michael and I are deep in working on the Sigmund revision, so we're spending lots of time with Claude and making progress. Our goal is to have at least alpha level code, basically all the functionality implemented in time to show it to you guys at Hamvention. So.
Is
That's
I
Michael
had
exciting.
here? I don't see him online.
No,
Can't
he
see him.
isn't here tonight.
Okay.
no, he isn't.
No,
Um,
he said he couldn't make it. He had a engagement. So
but I have talked to him recently, and Dave Whitten and I and Michael generally we meet once a week to talk if we're not otherwise detained.
I just wanted to tell him that hook that I promised him for setting a lifetime on a receiver channel. That's in
Oh,
case he wants
good.
to play with
I'll
it.
I'll
Yeah,
mention that to him
mention that to him. Thanks.
tomorrow. So yes. So I think we've called on everybody here, so we're open for general discussion.
That sounds really great. Um, Dave Whitten, I sent you an email with a link for tomorrow morning's Zoom, and I emailed everyone, so hopefully there's some coordination there.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And then yeah, Jonathan, I'd be happy to talk about the running the cable for the DX engineering.
Okay, yeah. So I was looking at what options that what were available and what would make sense, what would be the easiest, and so we can run two RG6 coax cables.
Yep.
Um,
I,
um, and
so
uh,
from a logistics standpoint, that's the simplest because we just choose one. We choose one RG6 coax that's direct burial and meets our RF needs, and then it also we just buy twice as much of it, and that covers our power needs too.
right.
But that's not necessarily the most cost-effective way to do it.
So there's also CCTV cable for those older style CCTV cameras uh, with RG6 cable, and then there's a power pair attached.
Mm,
Um, I didn't see any that's direct burial.
okay. I guess just to make sure everyone else understands what we're talking about is for deploying the RX 888s, we are planning on uh, giving people a DX Engineering active vertical antenna. And that DX Engineering active vertical antenna has two ways of powering the preamp. One way is that you use a power injector and you put power in the same coax as the RF. And the other way is that you can run a separate line to power it. And the preamplifier is designed so that the by by default that second power line is just another F connector. So presumably you just put two RG6 cables out to the thing. One you just put DC on, the other one you send the RF over. We want to go with this situation where we run the power separately from the RF. So we want to separate the power from the RF, but we're just not sure if it's really necessary to run the power over RG6. Is there something that's more cost effective in direct burial than RG6 for putting the power out to the preamp?
Let me tell you what I'm doing here. I'm in the halfway through installing, moving the 888 to a different location on my property. I just bought one of the DX Engineering verticals, and I haven't hooked it up yet. But per Rob's suggestion, I'm going to try just I've got a bunch of direct burial Cat 5 cable and
Mm-hmm.
those little Ballon boards that Well, I made some, and Tapper's got the design for them. Um, going to use one of those at each end to connect, and then there'll be an SMA to Type F adapter for the RF end of it. So, the Type F connector, Type F, right? Type F
Mm-hmm.
connector coming out will go to SMA, which will go to the little Balun board, which then goes to Cat5 cable. That will then run from the, antenna to the receiver location. The other end of that Cat5 cable has got another little balun on it. Um, so then that SMA connector on the balun there at that end then gets, hooked up probably to a filter and then the 888 and whatever else we got there. Now that's the RF signal. And, it works well. The loss is pretty good. And then for power, there are other pairs on the Cat5 cable. These are all twisted pairs. These little balun boards I have got those other wires brought out to pads on the board. And so I have made a Type F to basically to a pair of wires adapter. I just took I made myself using the I don't, this cheap 75 ohm coax, uh, put a Type F connector on one end, and then I, split up, I pulled off the shield goes to one wire and the center conductor goes to another wire, which then will get soldered onto the pads on the balun board at the receiver, at the radio, pardon me, at the antenna end. And then at the radio end, there two wires are going to come off the little balun board, plus 12 and you know 0. Um, and those will go to an external power supply. And I made myself a little highly filtered power supply, and if that's not good enough, I'll just hang a battery on there so I can do some A/B comparisons. So anyway, so that means there's one cable that's run between the receiver and the antenna. That cable carries both the RF in a balanced twisted pair mode, which has got its advantages, and it also carries power over two of the other wires on that cable. Cat5 cable is, I don't know if it's cheaper than cable TV cable, but it's certainly available and not too expensive. You can get direct burial. So anyway, I'll report back, let you guys know how that works. Expecting that it'll work just fine. So that's only one cable that's run out between the radio and the has to be run in the trench or outside out to the antenna. Dave, yeah?
Yeah, do you have a solution for the waterproof box on each end or
No, I was at the hardware store today looking at that, and I just I'm planning on using electrical tape
yeah,
and silicone, silicone sealer or something. Um, maybe just a plastic bottle and jam the connectors up,
yeah,
have it upside down and just a rain shield basically. But there are, just contractors boxes, that are made for outdoor
yeah.
um connect,
I
power cables and all that could be used. I just haven't.
I
I
think
could,
for some of Nathaniel's users, they may want some sort of a des- recommended design
yeah,
for a
I
box.
agree.
Mm-hmm.
The interface, all these jumper wires and connectors and everything, it would be nice, and a little balun board and all that. It would be nice if those were weather protected. And I'm going to come up with something, but um, there's probably a proper way to do that, and I don't know exactly what that is yet. But we're going to have that. And yeah, and Nathaniel, if you're just going to run the two coax cables with the F connectors on them, um, that does avoid the problems of having other connections exposed to the weather out there at the base of the antenna. So
Yeah.
that right there, that may be the best solution. Uh, I'm just curious to try the Cat5 arrangement though.
Yeah, I think we want something. I think having something that's logistically simple is kind of important here.
Then all you're going to need is an adapter
Yeah.
at the radio end of your power cable.
I guess it just seemed like a waste to put an extra RG6 on the ground when like maybe you could use a cheaper power cable.
Well,
Ju-
oh,
but you got the F connector to deal with one end or another. So I don't know how
Yeah.
you handle that.
I had one. I asked George Burkett about how he did it, and he um, only runs RF through the wire, and he uh, put a battery by the base of the antenna.
Yeah.
And
I don't
I just asked him, "How are you doing it?" And that's what he told me he was doing.
okay. I don't think that's what we want to do for the majority of our
No,
yeah.
yeah. I guess so. So basically, what we're trying to figure out, we want a plug and play type of solution. Something where we could have this plug and play thing where you plug it in, it's weatherproof, um, and it just rather than some because there's many ways to do this,
Mhm.
but uh, it was a plug and play type of thing where it could be easily done, easily installed without much issue. Um, and because initially what I did was I found a little F breakout board, which will which is like a plug and play type thing where you would connect your cable to the F jack, and it would break it out to a screw terminal where you could simply attach your power supply. Um, but then there were other options like CCTV cable with an RG6 and a 18 gauge single pair for power. But again, the issue is weatherproofing a connection at the antenna, and as Paul said, using RG6 and weather boots and all that stuff is a clean, elegant type of solution. Um, but I do agree. Um, what what would be good, and this is what I do with the VLF preamp is I utilize Cat 5 or Cat 6, one pair for signal, one pair for power, and perhaps something can be fashioned for um, the DXE preamp. Um, some sort of a board with two female F connectors or something like that. Something could be fashioned where you just plug in a RJ45, and then you have one cable. But at least for now, if the cost is cheap enough, just using RG6 would be good because RG6 is actually pretty cheap. There's different qualities of it too, and it could be found pretty cheap.
Yeah, I was going to say that you want to stick to either cat Ethernet cable or cable TV cable because it's so widely used, it's cheap. You don't want to go to some custom cable like CATV camera cable that has some extra wires in it. That's going
Yeah.
to cost you a lot of money.
So it kind of
CATV, I mean the Cat 5, Cat 6 cable that can handle pretty high frequencies, and you can get it shielded if you want. You can run separate power if you want. They are designed to be low crosstalk between the pairs. So that might it bears some experimentation. Of course, the idea would be to use Cat6 and run the power on the same cable, on the same wire as the signal. But it does take some playing around to get the isolation at VLF.
Well, there's also that too, but we do need some sort of a plug and play type of interface if we do use a Cat5 or Cat6 cable. Something plug and play, which would be.
I don't know what you're talking about, plug and play. You plug it together. What's the plug and play to it?
Well, that if you're using two Cat5 cables, pardon? No,
Well, I
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
use
Forget
two.
I.
Yeah, I
No.
wouldn't use
I'm
two
sorry.
cables.
You're right. No, I was thinking
Yeah,
coax. If you're using the two coax cables, then all of your complicated interfaces at the presumably
yeah,
sheltered radio end of it,
right.
rather
Jonathan,
than at
what
the
is the
antenna.
lowest frequency that you're looking to pick up?
Oh, this isn't for me. This is for the DXE preamp.
Oh, not the VLF
No,
system.
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're probably wanting to get down below 100 kilohertz or something, Nathaniel.
Yeah. I
But I mean, we do that all the time,
yeah.
running the power on the same wire.
It
We
sounds
use a very large choke, 2.2 millihenry choke, but that goes down into the tens of kilohertz.
Here,
it
let me show you
yeah.
what the two balance end do. Can you see my plot here?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is again 100 feet of Cat 5 or Cat 6, and center of the chart's 50 megahertz. That's 5 dB down, but we're losing 1 dB at each end for the transformers, or a total of half a dB at each end, so it adds up to 1 dB. So at 30 megahertz, the overall end-to-end through the two transformers through the 100 feet of Cat 5 is down about 4 dB. Just for
Yeah.
what it's worth, that's what we're doing with the little
Yeah, using coax, get a lot less loss.
yeah. But it's a preamp. The antenna's got a preamp,
Now
so
here's another thought. You
and
might
how do I
be
stop trying to stop sharing this thing? I can't. Here we go.
Paul, here's an interesting thought. You could actually parallel two of the twisted pairs because they're 100 ohm impedance. You parallel the two, you get 50 ohms, which is more to our liking, and you get half the loss.
Yeah, have to, go to one-to-one transformers, but those are available. Matter
Right.
of fact, those are
It's an interesting.
available with better low frequency.
Right.
And I designed that balance thing to be compatible with Glenn Elmore's antenna design, his balance
Right.
vertical. So that's used the twisted pair the way he had it set up. But again, you're right. If we wanted to come up with something new, but for the DXE design, we could, but that's probably not in the cards right now. I'm thinking more along the lines that the two coax cables, and then you do it, SMA adapt to F adapter. That's just a little tiny adapter that's at the radio end, and then for the power, yeah, we need to come up with something for F to whatever power connection you're going to have. The
Yeah.
battery at the base of the antenna, that's okay. The amplifier draws about, from their specs anyway, they say it draws about 30 milliamps. So, you can have a decent sized battery last pretty long out there, but it's not unless somebody's willing to go out and change the battery out every so often, that's probably not the best approach.
No, that's high maintenance, and a
Yeah,
lot of people wouldn't remember to change it.
I wouldn't.
Um, another consideration is, do we really want to use F connectors? I know they're all over the place, but they are really junk connectors.
The problem is, I mean, that's what's on the DX engineering
Yeah. I
preamp. So
wish they
we're
wouldn't do
stuck with
that.
that if we're going to use that.
Right. I see
And
what you're saying.
the there are adapters are quite common and inexpensive.
Yeah,
Just a little stubby thing sticking out from the F connector, and then you can have SMA or BNC or whatever you want.
right. That's true.
So
Yeah.
in terms of cost, um, at least on Amazon, for 1,000 feet of the CCTV cable, it's like $30 more than 1,000 feet of RG6. So it's a little bit more. However, for the purposes of um, for the purposes of an easy solution, which can be um, put together as a kit, because that's what we're doing here. We're just like I'm going to be putting together these VLF kits. Emma and Majid, they're working on putting together the magnetometer kits and the um, HF receiver kits. And for the antenna, um, uh, simpler is better, I would think, rather than some complicated setup. Um, so yeah,
So the simplest approach is going to be um, F to a pair of wires at the sheltered radio end of things. Now that pair of wires, then we have to ask ourselves, are we going to provide the power supply for this
yeah,
remote preamp?
yeah,
And so we need to decide what that is, figure out, is there one that we can specify or that we can get that is clean enough for the application? If
yes.
not, do we have to put a filter on it? And where's that? How do we connect up the power at the receiver end is the question. Once we have that figured out, I mean, I'll design a simple board if there's time. Otherwise, I'm sure we can cobble something together, but we need
Well,
to understand what we're doing there.
so I'm going to put in the chat something I found. So this is a F connector breakout, and it breaks out the F connector into a pin header in which a screw terminal gets soldered onto. And I figured that would be the easiest ready-made solution. Might not be the best, but the plan was I would solder them together. I would put a piece of large heat shrink over the actual board portion of it, and simply connect the wires from the power supply to the screw terminal, and and then that and then that will be it.
No, that's a nice little board. I mean, presumably you'd cut off the pins there.
Well, they could be soldered in,
Or does it not come with the pins soldered in already? Okay.
uh, no, it comes as a kit that you have to solder.
Oh, that's even better then. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
quick. So what's the power supply then? Do we have that figured
Um,
out?
I believe I can't remember, but I believe that with the kit, the preamp kit comes with a Jamico unregulated power supply.
So we don't have any power supplies right now because if you buy it with the power supply, it costs an extra $100 for the injector and the power supply. So we have to buy our own power supplies.
Oh,
Yeah, the antenna I bought did not come with a power supply. I didn't even look for
Mm.
that as an option. I wasn't pl yeah, so need to pick a power supply, one that's clean. All the issues of, common mode, ground and just base, plain old RFI, switching noise and all that.
Yeah. But I do think, Jonathan, I do think you're right. If you buy the kit, I think you do get a Jameco power supply. And I have one over here that's running the active vertical I have outside, and it's a 500 milliamp 12 volt.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Because I remember looking at it when I was
Yes.
there at your house, and I was thinking like, and and I made a mistake on the current draw. Uh, isn't it like 20 milliamps that Elmer said? Didn't
I don't remember.
I know that Elmer measured it, but anyway, I believe that we have our answer. That we
Mm,
could simply purchase a 12 volt,
hmm
500 milliamp unregulated Jamico power supply, and
hmm
this little board and some heat shrink tubing, and I think we're good.
It
I
sounds like a plan to me.
So
I mean,
is this power supply then? It's a non-switching supply. It's
not
basically
yes, right.
transformer, diodes, and a capacitor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good. I found something like that, and that's what I'm using, but it was
Yeah.
just in one of my junk boxes.
It's
Yeah.
it's the same. I so for the Whistler catcher, both the VLF interface box and the GPS interface box, both of them use Jamico unregulated um, linear power supply. Well, there's no the only thing that's linear is the diodes, but it but an unregulated power supply. Um,
Is
I've got
the
the part.
ripple is the 620 hertz ripple going to be an issue with the preamp? Because there will be. I mean, I saw that on mine. I ended up having like a 15 volt unregulated supply, and I threw an LM317 on it to get that down to 12 volts, relatively ripple free. But
Yeah,
if the preamp doesn't care about the ripple, then it's not a problem.
yeah, if the preamp's got regulation internally, it's not a problem, but it could modulate the output if not.
I I believe that the preamp does have an internal regulator
Yeah, I think usually
because
does.
when you're powering the preamp, you're powering it from say an unknown length of cable, like the designer of it, but probably assumed an unknown length of cable, so an unknown voltage drop. So it's probably driven internally by a linear regulator, but one with the wide input voltage range. That's kind of what I was thinking. Because Nathaniel, that's a 12 volt uh un, unregulated power supply, right?
I have the model number right here if you want it.
12
Can you?
volt unregulated, often it's going to put out, 14, 15 volts anyway,
Yeah.
lightly loaded.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess it's unregulated. It doesn't say regulated or not. It's a model number DCU 1250.
DCU 1250.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the model number.
All right.
Somebody ought to throw a voltmeter on the unloaded output of one of those things and see what we get. But
Well,
okay, but regardless of what power supply, there will be a power supply. You guys are going to provide it. The output of that is going to be a barrel connector of some sort. So then this F to terminal block adapter, which I really like, by the way. You'll just need wires to a jack, uh, a barrel socket um, to connect to that.
Here, I found the Jameco page for this particular device, so I can put it right in the chat.
I the one that I posted is the one that does not have the um DC jack on it. It's just the regular wires,
Okay.
which in this case, um, this is what we would probably use
Yeah,
because we would connect it to the screw terminals.
Right.
But this, yeah, this seems good because according to the data sheet, it's the Jamico. Yeah, yeah. It has an internal. It has an AC side fuse, the step down transformer, the uh, diode bridge, and a filter capacitor, and then that's it, according to the schematic here. So
Do you know how much current the antenna actually pulls?
It's
so
less than 30 milliamps. I did measure it and I forget,
Yeah, because
but I looked at the spec on the thing and I don't know. It said 20 or 30 milliamps.
okay. The reason I ask
Basically,
is I
yeah,
just ask because this is a half amp unregulated supply, so you'll be feeding at 16 volts, not 12.
yes, correct.
right, yeah, yeah.
And so, we maybe we ought to talk with DX Engineering or see if we can get. I think they might have published a schematic for the preamp, so we could look at that.
Yeah.
Don't want to blow it up. There was I forget. I think they had a. We need to look at the specs of the preamp. I think there's a voltage range.
Well,
Um,
Paul, this this is the power supply that actually comes with it. If you
okay,
purchase it, yeah.
then okay, that's good enough then.
That's
Um,
just fine.
it, again, I'd be okay. I'll have to assume that Ripple's not going to be a problem then.
I don't really think that it would be because I would imagine that there's also filtering in the preamp too. I I I haven't actually taken it apart and looked at the board, so I don't know for sure. Um, but I since this is the one that came with it, Jamico sells the one without the DC jack, so we could just get that and those handy little F breakout boards, and I'd say call it done.
Yeah.
So, they have the circuit diagrams, the internal circuit diagrams on the Jamco site for all of their power supplies.
That's what I was just looking at.
Paul, I was I looked at your photo that you sent me yesterday. You
Mhm.
didn't have the filter in there. I was wondering if you could take another one with the
Yeah. I was going to ask you if you wanted me to do that.
yeah,
I don't think that the original photo had the filter in it, so I didn't put it in.
yeah.
But
I think put a whole because I'm trying to match the block diagram. I want to take your block diagram and basically have the photo next to it.
okay,
So,
I've still got all the pieces here, and I can have that to you tomorrow if that'll be soon
that'd be
enough.
perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I just went to go, I went to take your photo and put in, and started to write the caption. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing's missing.
Yeah, I almost sent you an email. Hey, do you want to have one of the filter boxes in there? But then I figured maybe I was blowing my horn too
Nope.
much, so I
Yes,
didn't.
please.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy to. I'll have them oriented so the Turn Island logo is promptly displayed. No,
There you go.
I'll try to make it look aesthetic. Don't worry.
Thanks. That'll be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And actually, what I will do, um, let's see. I'll get,
Here we go.
There's one thing about the schematic that raises a flag for me. It doesn't show any bypass capacitors around the bridge rectifier.
Can put out a little noise.
Oh, they can put out a lot of noise.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I know diode noise source and all
When
that.
it the current reverses in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, have you ever heard of a gun diode?
Yep.
That's one of those rectifiers in a cavity. Step recovery diode.
Is this 4007 or whatever they're going to use in that? Is that does that have the same characteristics as a?
No,
Yeah, I
no,
mean
you need like
those are more like
ceramic
pin
caps
diode
around it.
characteristics.
No, it's got step recovery diode characteristics, and that is, as I try to point out to people, the most likely source of interference in your house is going to be one of these unbypassed cheap wall warts. We haven't
Uh,
tested it.
okay, yeah, no, do carry on, guys. I'm trying to find the I thought I saw a schematic for the preamp in the DX on the DX engineering site, and so far I'm not finding it, but I know it's there somewhere.
Nathaniel, would you want me to reply to the email and put the link to the Jamico power supply?
That sounds great. And then we'll have to figure out, I guess Emma will probably tell me how many we need, and then I guess I order it and something like that.
Um, okay. Um, yeah, because I think um, so using the CCTV. Oh wait, never mind.
So the current plan is going to be just 2 runs of RG6 with the Jamco power supply and the breakout board adapters.
Right. Yeah. I um I was thinking about the cost. But then I realized that CCTV cable that I saw was
Mhm.
not direct burial.
Right.
So yes, the I would say the best solution would be this. Um, do we need to involve Majid and Emma on this discussion?
I think all we have to do is tell them what we're doing and what we're ordering.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because
Well, it's even easier.
Emma's like, yeah, they don't need to make any decisions here. You just need to tell them this is the design we're using, and then they can say, all right, here's how many we're ordering.
Okay.
Because Emma's like keeping track of how many actually how many of the things we have, and she's getting that put together. But she won't make a design decision here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, the Gary McKeaton is the person that's basically deciding who gets these things,
Yeah.
more or less. And that includes specifically who gets the magnetometers, who gets the RX 888s, and who gets the whisper sons.
Right.
You get to decide who gets the VLF receivers.
Right.
Emma is um Emma is amassing all of the stuff, and she's responsible for assembling all of these things with Majid's help.
Okay.
Everything that is not the VLF, like the VLF stuff is your thing.
Yeah.
And then but she is working with Majid on taking care of the ARC 888s, the magnetometers, the whisper sons. We may be recruiting Gerard Piccini to help her out as well.
Okay. Oh. Good. Yeah, because he's a full-time research engineer too.
Right. So
Okay.
we might be able to borrow him from NJIT for a couple of weeks to help us with the build and the deployment.
Okay. Okay.
And so that also means that like if there are tasks that I'm asking Emma to write up a work plan for for what she would want Gerard to do. And then I'm going to anything that Gerard does, we basically have to have Hyomin approve it because Hyomin's actually Gerard's supervisor. So I basically give that to Hyomin and say, this is what we'd like Gerard to do. Can he do it? And hopefully we can borrow him for a couple weeks. And so if there's something that you could use Gerard's help with as well, like with the VLF stuff, some of those things can potentially get incorporated in what either Majid or Emma or Gerard are doing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well then, in that case, if
Yeah. It's like if you would rather have someone like Gerard or Majid or Emma do the soldering and stuff, like someone else can do that.
you mean like the boards of the VLF system?
I I was thinking specifically here of the
The adapters.
the adapters. Like
Oh,
if you don't want that on your plate, and potentially if there is some other stuff that you need help with, you can let us know and we can see if it makes sense to have someone help you with it.
well, the adapters, like, let's say we do 25 adapters.
Mhm.
I could I could do that in a couple hours at most.
Yeah.
But if someone else wants to do it, as Emma mentioned, soldering is very there. It's
Yeah,
very
everyone seems to want this soldering job.
yes. I've always I mean me I've I've been doing it for years and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But um, again, if someone else wants to do it, that's fine. I have like uh Hako commercial type soldering station at home,
Uh-huh.
which I could set temperature. I have large and small tips. Um, it's very very easy for me to do it here, but
Yeah.
if um, I'll just leave it up to them.
Okay. Yeah, let Emma know, and Emma's basically kind of doing the project management here, so she can decide. And yeah, if you offer that to her. But yeah, you tell her what the design Emma doesn't want to figure out what the design is for this power supply thing is. She just wants to know what to order, and she will order it, or we'll have it ordered.
Okay. We're gonna need weather boots for the RG6, aren't we?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so that'll be one item. Okay then. So I will write this email and I will let everyone know that we'll go with the two RG6 and and the adapter and everything else, and then I'll just put it out there. Whoever would like to solder, it's completely up to you. If not, then I can do it, and then we'll just go from there.
That sounds great.
Okay,
Thank you,
excellent.
Jonathan.
Hmm.
It's past my bedtime, so I might say 73 for now. But
Me too.
okay. I'll let everyone else keep going. So
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.